Well, just wrapped up our conversation with Lee Byberg, who is running against Connell Peterson, who's been in Congress for 22 years in Minnesota 7. And there's the case with a Republican challenging a Democratic long-term incumbent. And by the way, didn't even get to all the calls or the emails for Lee. We'll do that another time and pick up again on all those issues next week. So as you've asked for, we're going to focus in on that particular race. Another race I want to focus in on is making sure that one of our favorite incumbents, in fact, the woman who has single-handedly stood up for the Tea Party and our Common Sense caucus in the United States House, who's in a race against a zillionaire down there in the city's uber-liberal Congresswoman Michele Bachmann, back with us on the Common Sense Club and the Scott Hinton Show. How are you?
Hey, delighted to be here. It's always an honor to be on your show, and I'm so happy that Lee Byberg was just on with you. One thing I know about Lee, he is very committed to free markets and to turning the economy around. He gets pro-growth policies. That's what we need in Congress, people who are committed to pro-growth policies.
He was, by the way, talking about an issue that came up in last night's vice presidential debate, and that is on the issue of abortion. You know, the MCCL in Minnesota has for years endorsed Colin Peterson as a quote-unquote pro-life Democrat, but because of his support for Obamacare, they have withdrawn that for the first time in eons. So that could be a significant change in a district, that part of Minnesota like yours, solidly pro-life, right?
Well, it's true, because even people who aren't pro-life don't believe that people should be forced to pay for other people's abortions. That's effectively what Obamacare does. It has taxpayer-subsidized abortion, and that is a violation of moral conscience. I am very committed as a pro-life person, and it is something that is reprehensible to me to think that I would be forced to pay for other people's abortions. That's why I think Obamacare is so highly offensive to so many people.
Colin Peterson's running an ad talking about how he opposed the health care law. He did a vote against the initial legislation, but since has supported it in other legislation and said he's against repeal. What's your take as someone that served with him about Colin Peterson on Obamacare?
Well, one thing that we learned is you can't say that you're pro-life and support Obamacare. And if you're unwilling to repeal it, you support it. And we know that it is socialized medicine, but as I said, it is taxpayer-funded abortion, and it is a denial of religious liberty for the Catholic Church. Barack Obama was forcing the Catholic Church to deny the Church's sincerely held doctrinal statements of being against contraception or sterilization or abortion. And yet President Obama was forcing the Catholic Church to violate their religious beliefs. That's wrong. No government should tell a religious faith what they must or must not believe. And that's why Obamacare is wrong on so many levels. I appreciate that Lee Byberg will stand for the full-scale repeal of Obamacare.
And by the way, your opponent, same position, supports legalized abortion. I got a kick out of a statement he said in the Star Trib that it was a health issue, which is why he supported abortion. So I guess he's not concerned about the health of the unborn child, right?
Sad. If it wasn't so sad, we have over 50 million American lives that have been lost to abortion in the United States. That's a terrible number, and it isn't just those lives. It's 50 million women whose lives have also been scarred, and men's lives have been scarred. It's not a victimless crime. And so we want to make sure that we protect life, we stand for life, and my opponent is radically pro-abortion. He's doubled down in his support of gay marriage, and as a matter of fact, he brought Barney Frank into Minnesota to do a fundraiser for him, and they raised a ton of money for my opponent. My opponent he's extremely wealthy. He's worth in excess of $100 million. I've never had an opponent with this level of personal wealth before, and that's why we're very concerned, quite frankly. He has any amount of money on his side, and really money is what we need, money and volunteers in our race right now. And my website is michelebachmann.com. I've got a race that we're very concerned about, and so we need people's help.
And I again see how this race of yours is being supported in such an extraordinary grassroots level. The average campaign donation $45, so you're 50, 100, 150, 250 at a time is how you're going up against this millionaire, right?
That's right. That's how we're doing it, because I'm a voice for real people across the United States, and they want a real common sense view, and that's why I thank you that I'm the co-chair of the Common Sense Club, because that's who your listeners are. That's what they represent, and I am highly honored to be in that position. This is it. I mean, the one thing that we all need to remember that we can't emphasize enough, we only have one chance to repeal Obamacare. That's it. It is 24 days from now. This election is the one where we have the chance to repeal it. After that, Obamacare will be a brand new bureaucracy. We, in all likelihood, will never, ever be able to get rid of it. So we have to win the White House, the Senate, and the House. And we have a number of super PACs that have made me the number one target in the nation to defeat. They don't want my strong advocacy for fiscal conservatism and pro-life and pro-marriage. They want me silenced. This is a big deal. When you're the number one target for super PACs to defeat, that's why I don't take this lightly. That's why I think you saw Barney Frank come in. They believe they can defeat me in this election cycle. My opponent's running a lot of ads. He's spending a ton of money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of his own money in this race, and they think they can win.
Well, let's not let them win, folks. Let's remember, obviously, the U.S. Chamber, the National Federation of Independent Businesses come out and endorsed your campaign, but you're endorsed by the people. So I hope folks will take an opportunity to go to MichelleBachmann.com, give you some help there, and counter the Barney Frank bucks.
Amen. Amen. I have
Yep.
pro-life endorsement, pro-marriage endorsement, NRA. The Farm Bureau endorses me. Again, I stand for real people, common sense. And my opponent has doubled down on gay marriage and pro-abortion and on all of these issues. There's a complete, distinct difference. But the difference is they just have an unlimited checkbook on their side, and they think they can have it all. And we can't let money buy the election on their side.
I want to ask you a little bit about the vice presidential debate last night. I've been interested in the opinions of moms, because it seemed like the behavior of Joe Biden is one that many moms have faced, at the dinner table over the years and had to straighten out. What did you think of it?
Well, I think snotty would be a representative word. Also clownish. Buffoonish, with all due respect to the vice president. It was really unseemly. I hosted a watch party last night in Waite Park, which is right by St. Cloud, Minnesota. We had 3 overflow rooms filled. You should have heard the people. They were just aghast. I just said one word, body language. I asked everyone, and they just roared. They just could not believe his mocking, fake smile and laughing, and it was off-putting for a lot of people. So I think for moms around the table, they'd say, wipe that smile off your face, young man. And he was so disrespectful when he constantly was interrupting, something like 82 times. It was unseemly. It was just unseemly. So I think Mitt Romney hit it out of the park. In this particular debate, Joe Biden looked just unfriendly in this debate. I think now we have momentum on the side of Mitt Romney, and I think we can see it all the way through. Again, we take nothing for granted. Everybody's got to work their hearts out to make sure we
Absolutely.
win.
Keep fighting, folks. MichelleBachmann.com, so she's got some more fight to go there in this race. Check it out. I like your word better than mine. Mine was smug. Snotty works. That's what it was. Michele Bachmann, God bless you. Thanks a bunch, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.